Welcome to another episode, everyone. On July 4th, Nolan Xavier Wells, the black individual here, 18 years old, came up missing, as many of you know and have heard the story by now, on a boat ride right here, a boat trip with his friends. There are conflicting stories as to what happened. He is the only individual that did not make it home after this here picture was taken after this boat ride. We have footage of an argument that he had with his so-called friends while on this boat ride. And it sounds like his friends are telling him, you cannot get back on this boat. If you get back on this boat, something is going to happen to you. Now, just yesterday or so, unfortunately, they found Nolan Wells' body out there in the river. And his friends here have went silent and have lawyered up. One of the individual friends' mother is a judge. So these individuals have deleted all of their social medias. All of their social medias have been deleted as the friends. All of the parents' social medias of these friends have been deleted as well. Nolan Wells' parents want answers, and these individuals, and the police officer is already saying that there is no foul play, nothing to see here. Well, something happened, and black people are upset and reacting to the situation. Now, you have some individuals even saying, some blacks, well, he shouldn't have been out being the token friend. All of these black individuals want to be colorblind and put their head in the sand, and only, I don't see color and all of this nonsense. Well, that's fine, and that's how you think, but that's not how other individuals think. We know that the black lady a couple of years ago had a little sleepover. She was the only black friend, this token black friend. Parents, you better teach your children, because they are certainly teaching their kids to stay away from you just because you're black. And what are you teaching your children? It's not about hatred. It's just about reality. It's just about facts. The black woman came up dead, lying under the stairs. She was the only one that came up dead out of about 10 women. She was the only black woman there at the sleepover. You see pictures of her in her pajamas. She was the only black lady there, being the token black friend. And she was the only one that didn't make it home. Nothing to see here. No one was arrested. No foul play was determined. In this situation, Nolan Wells went out on this boat ride. He was just accepted to college in Mississippi. He's in Mississippi, and he played high school ball in Mississippi, and was just about to move into the college situation and start playing ball for one of the colleges out there in Mississippi. He decided to go on this boat ride with these friends. An argument happened. Again, we can see the argument, whatever the argument was over. The friends left him there by himself. Allegedly, they took his phone with them. So he has no ride. He has no way to get back. He has no way to communicate. He has no phone. And then he comes up dead. They find him in the river. Now, again, we have footage of a conflict that happened between these individuals, and they're telling him he cannot get back on the boat. He can't get on the boat. He better not get on the boat. You have to listen closely, but they're telling him he cannot get on the boat. And then they claim at first, before they deleted all of their social medias and lawyered up and everything else and went all the way silent off the face of the earth, apparently. When they first got back, they were claiming that Nolan had spoken with his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend and had ended up going with her, had separated from them because he went with his ex-girlfriend on another boat or what have you. They separated. And other than that, that's the last they heard from him. They don't know what happened. They separated right there. He left with his ex-girlfriend. We don't know. And then all of a sudden, his body comes up and he's dead. And nothing has happened to anyone about his death. Now, let's get to the argument that Nolan had. Listen closely.
As y'all can see.
Okay. Now you have to listen closely. Go back and listen to that. And you put on your headphones or something. You can hear those individuals there saying that you better not get back on the effing boat. You cannot get on the effing boat. Something along those lines. Clearly, you see all of the individuals on the one boat looking towards the one direction, which is towards Nolan's way. All of the other friends are on the boat. Regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what happened, if this is supposed to be your friend and you all came together, you all are supposed to leave together. You're not supposed to leave him anywhere. If you all have an argument, you're supposed to let him back on that boat to get back to shore. That's for sure. If you all came on the boat, how are you just going to leave your friend there, take his phone, and leave him stranded there? And then you come back and claim that you don't know what happened. Nothing to see here. He left with his girlfriend. Well, no, we see an argument right here. I guess you didn't know that the footage was going to come out. Everything is recorded now. We see an argument that you all had where you're telling him that he cannot get back on the boat, that he had better not get back on the boat. And clearly he did not get back on the boat. And in fact, he's dead. And if these individuals cared about him, they would have never left him there alone. What about his other friends that were right there? You all didn't say, no, man, he's getting back on his boat. He has to get, this is our friend. Not one of them stepped up and said, no, he's getting back on his boat. When we get back to shore, you all can fight it out then, if it's that serious. But he's getting back on his boat because we all came together. We're not going to leave him stranded out here. But no, instead, they all are complicit. They all were okay with leaving their so-called friend right there on the island by himself. And then he comes up dead. These are your friends? You had better, again, this happens time and time and time and time again. You want to be the token black friend. You want proximity to whiteness. You out there in Mississippi and you have no black friends. You out there in Mississippi and this is who you decide to hang around at the exclusion. His girlfriend was white as well. This is who you choose to hang around at the exclusion of your own people. Black people are going to have your back at the end of the day. Yes, we fight and argue with one another, but these individuals, a lot of them have hatred in their hearts. They don't see you as a human being. And we see these stories time and time again. These black women swirlers with their white zaddies coming up dead. And individuals are not having mercy upon them because they chose this life because they want this proximity to whiteness at the exclusion of their own people. I don't know exactly what Nolan Wells' situation was or what was in his heart. And rest in peace to that individual. Rest in peace to that man, to that brother, to that human being. Whatever happened to him, he did not deserve it and he did not have it coming. This was no accident. There was no indication that he was suicidal, that he wanted to take himself. He didn't jump off the boat. He didn't dive into the water and didn't know how to swim and drown. That's not what happened. He wanted to come back and go to college. He wanted to make it back to shore like everyone else did. But no one has been arrested. And do not be surprised if no one is arrested because black lives and black bodies do not matter in this country. You can take a black life and get away with it. Understand that. You can get away with it in this country. We see it time and time again. This is why you individuals need to stop trying to be token blacks, being happy and satisfied with being the only black friend in the group as if you're special. This is what you tend to believe. You're prone to believing that you're special because they don't see you the way that they see your people, the way that they see the rest of. You're not like them. You're not like them, Nolan. You're not like the rest of them thugs. You're different. This is why we love you. This is why we treat you different. No, they don't love you. No, they don't treat you different. No, they don't see you any different. They do see you as the same way. If however they see your people is how they see you. If they are not racist, then fine. Then they don't see your people in a certain light. They see your people as human beings. if you ever hear comments about how you're different than the rest of your people, whether you hear in those particular terms or not, or if you ever hear suggestions in any derogatory way about your own people, then these are, because you see individuals married outside of their race, and you hear individuals say that as soon as they get into an argument, they hear the N-word hurled at them. And you hear individuals, they hear their spouses talking about the ghetto and ghetto people and this and that, but put it in a way as if you're not one of them. If they feel this way about your people, they feel this way about you. They may even love you. Some of the so-called slave masters slept with the slaves. It don't matter. So what, you sleeping with some of them? They'll sleep with you, okay. They even marry you. If they feel that way about your people, they feel that way about you. This man is never coming home, and people are blaming the parents and saying that the parents should have taught him better. These crazed black parents want proximity to whiteness too, and are not teaching their kids to be safe, to be smart, are not teaching their kids the history, the barbaricism that is America, the brutality that was and is America. They're not teaching them that the United Nations just voted that slavery was the worst crime against humanity in the history of humankind. All except for 3 countries voted for this. That would be the United States, Israel, and Argentina. Let's see what some black people got to say about what happened here.
You guys, before I tell you again, black people do not lynch themselves, and they sure as hell do not choose to unalive themselves by bodies of freaking water. Okay, so we all know this is Nolan Wells, right? And we all know now that Nolan Wells was not missing. He didn't vanish. He was murdered. End of story. When this story first of all came across my feed, and I saw this picture.
Damn shame.
Yeah, so I was very suspicious, especially on the 4th of July.
Y'all gonna learn.
I mean, I wished for the best and hoped for the best, so I wasn't surprised as the story started to unfold that we discover his 3 white friends left him on an island by himself with his phone on the boat that they took back. So they knew he wasn't on the boat because they intentionally left him behind. They knew he did not have his phone. So it makes you question, what kind of friends will leave you on an island that they came to with you and leave you with no means of getting back to mainland? What kind of friends do that? And what kind of friends tell you this? An argument between him and his friends in which they're shouting at him, telling him he's not getting on the boat. So there is no doubt that they intentionally left him behind and they took his phone with them, so he had no means of freaking communication. Even if you want to give this boy the benefit of the doubt, why have they deactivated all their social media platforms, including their parents? Why is it that they've lawyered up? What do you have to hide? Why did you leave him behind with no means of returning? Why did you tell him that he can't get on the effing boat? This isn't the first time. You need to start making it the last time. Like in the case of Tamela Horsford in 2018.
There she go. That's the woman I was just talking about right now. That's the black woman I was just talking about right now. She right there in the middle. The black woman who didn't make it out. What her name? Tamela something. Horford, something like that. Horsford, something like that. Look her up. You see all the white women, these are her friends. She thinks she in, boy, right? She thinks she one of them. Hey, look, I made it. I'm with Becky. Yeah, hey, look at me. I'm better than y'all. They accept me. They like me. They don't like y'all because y'all are ghetto. They don't like the way that y'all act. I don't like the way that y'all act either. Y'all are ghetto. It's not about racism. It's not that. That's not why they don't like y'all. Stop playing the victim. Stop playing the race card. They love me. They love Oprah. They love Obama. It's you. You're the problem. It's the way you carry yourself. It's not them that lynched you, that ate you, that cooked your skin. No, they're not the problem. You're the problem. It's the way you act. These individuals have been indoctrinated. She's sitting there, look at this big ass smile she got on her face. She'll see a black woman and look at her like she got shit on her face. Look how she's smiling with these people. They go another one right there on the side. I ain't even see her. Another white lady right there. Out of all those women right there, 7 white women, just that we see in the picture. Might be more. They all probably couldn't fit in there. 8 women total, 7 of them white. The one black woman, guess she's supposed to be black. What are the odds? What a coincidence. Out of all coincidence, the only one who comes up missing. And what happens? The same thing that happens every time. They get away with it.
Understand that black people are not safe in white-only spaces. We aren't. Because when evil happens, they gang up together and build a wall of silence. Somebody knows what happened to her. One of them knows, at least one. Just like every single one of these boys knows exactly what happened to Nolan. And they're saying jack all. And somehow these boys, his friends, are now going to carry on with their lives, finish college, become a judge, engineer, whatever the heck it is that they were planning to do, while Nolan's dreams and future have been wiped off. I think these boys are complicit and culpable. I have no doubt about it in my mind. And now their white parents will use the very systems stacked up against Nolan's black parents to protect their sons. Because at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, when the shit hits the fans, white folks will gang up together, build a wall of silence, use the very oppressive systems to protect themselves.
Yes.
There is no way in hell that that young man decided to go for a swim by himself on that island on 4th of July weekend. The island's packed with people.
Yeah. There's so much your friend. How come not one of the individuals, again, on the boat said, no, he's coming with us? All of them are your friends. You went out there without, not one of them could stand up to the rest of them. Not two of them can say, no, he's coming. What do you mean? We're not leaving him here. They all sided with the friend on the boat. They all sided with their kind, with their people. When it all came down to it, they all sided with him and they all built a wall of silence. And again, as the sister said, the same oppressive systems that they claim to condemn, claim not to be a part of, that oppresses black people are the same systems that they're going to now lean on to get their sons out of trouble. The same racism that they claim to tell their children not to see color are the same systems now that they're going to rely on to not get justice for Nolan. Only when it is convenient for them do they pretend to be an ally. You'll learn.
It would be hard to even find a way to go for a swim by yourself alone on that island on 4th of July. It's just a little spit of land. But there is no way in hell that young black man on an island full of white people decided to sneak off by himself and go for a swim alone in water over his head or anywhere near over his head. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we do.
That's not something that happened. And an accidental drowning is the only way that young man could be dead and it not be murder. And there's no fucking way he went swimming by himself, that he left the group and everybody that could possibly see or hear him and decided to go for a swim.
My mama always told me, if you the only birthday candle at the birthday party, 9 times out of 10, you ain't there for the party and you there as the present. My mama always told me, if you the only birthday candle at the birthday party, you not there for the birthday party, you there to be the present. Nolan Wells and this whole entire thing down there in Mississippi look fishy. One of the boys' mama is a judge down there. Don't nobody know what happened. Now all of a sudden, a body's been found to presume to be his. His mama, Nolan Wells, is online saying she want answers, which means she crying out to the world because she don't believe nothing Mississippi say, which she shouldn't. I want to hear what's going on because it's moving a little too slow for me. The people who investigate this whole thing saying that there's no way possible he could have made it to inside of the island because it's cactus and stuff everywhere. So what really happened to Nolan? That's all we want to know. I'm not going to cover this like I know everything. I want to hear y'all speak this time, okay? Because apparently the other way don't work when we just take what y'all say on y'all news outlets. We want to know what happened from y'all. Instead of all of us making posts on, y'all go live and say what happened. Put them boys on camera. Let us look at them. Let us be the judge of character on this one. Sidebar. I done already goddamn judged them. Y'all guilty. I don't give a damn. My baby leave the house and he don't come back and it was all white friends. Guilty. Undertaker commit the bodies. I digress. Nolan Wells has went missing. Body found. Parents want to know what's going on in Mississippi. If you ain't know what was going on, you know now. He went missing 4th of July weekend. He was with his friends. And he was the only birthday candle. I'm just here to bring you the news. I'm just a messenger.
I need you to hear me when I say this. Just because you are invited does not mean you are welcome. Unfortunately, they did find the...
Yeah, that does not mean that you are welcome. And the problem is, with a lot of these situations like O.J. Simpson, and I may be too militant for these situations, too militant for you too, but the problem with a lot of these situations is that black people end up fighting for these individuals and losing their lives. When stuff like this happens, blacks come out into the street, riot, loot, whatever, but we end up losing our lives. But we're fighting for individuals who denounced us, essentially. Now, again, I don't know about Nolan Wells and his situation in particular, as far as his outlook on race and this, that, and the other, whether or not he abandoned the race or not. It seems like he wanted proximity to whiteness, that's for sure. And with these individuals like the parents and all that, what they need to do is lean on his friends for help. Have them come out in the street and riot and loot and die and lose their lives. This is who he wanted to be his friends. This is who he believed his friends were. This is who he believed cared about him. Why the hell we out here fighting and dying? That's what I want to know.
Missing teen they were looking for, Nolan Xavier Wells, who had gone missing while on a trip with his friend group to an island off of the coast of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. The only black child in this group of otherwise all Caucasian teens. Supposedly his teammates from his football team, or who he at least knew from those same spaces. It makes sense why he would be friends with them, right? They're on the same team, they like the same things, they grew up around the same area. So that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is why no one knows a damn thing. They came back to shore and Nolan didn't, but his phone did. And yet no one knows what the hell happened. His so-called friends had a lot to say in that video that leaked on social media of them having an argument. Yet they didn't talk to him and they don't know what's going on. These are people he considered his friend. This is a trip he was invited to go on. Yet he was clearly not safe in the midst of this group of people who are different from him, who likely became hostile toward him, and who ultimately betrayed him in their silence. I understand wanting to make friends and build bonds over things that you find in common with other people. I'm saying that as a black person, it is not just about what you have in common with people. It is about your ultimate safety. I grew up in a small town. I was often one of the few, if not the only person who looked like myself in class. Everything that leads up to this is also horrible. These kids will pretend to be your friend and then single you out. They'll invite you over to their place and then embarrass you in front of their real friend. They'll let you sit with them at lunch just to turn on you in front of everybody. And they'll do it literally just for fun. They play the long game with their cruelty. That's the point. And unfortunately, the worst of this jeopardizing your safety. It's important we remind each other to stay vigilant, get good with your discernment, and realize more times than not that it is better to be by yourself than the only one in the midst of a group of people like that. I'm so glad that Nolan has people who love him, who care about him, who are not going to let this lie. We can't let it either. Justice for Nolan.
Yeah, we can't either. Let's get out there and die, everybody. If Nolan had died for us, or Was he the type that was going to say he doesn't see race, doesn't see color? Can't we all get along? You blacks need to stop acting like thugs. I don't know. At any rate, justice for Nolan. No one deserves to lose their life, that's for sure, at the hands of these so-called friends. Whatever his outlook is, he deserves to be here on earth just like these individuals are. And that's the whole point. That you need to wake up and understand the evildoers. We're not speaking about everyone. We're speaking about the evildoers. If the shoe fits, wear it. If you are one of them, then I'm talking about you. And you need to stay away from them. And some people learn, and they learn the hard way, and they learn with giving up their lives, unfortunately. It's a shame, but it happens all of the time. We see it all of the time. So we'll see if we're going to get some answers about Nolan Wells and what happened to that young man. Why did he not come back to shore, to the mainland? Why? Why is he the only one that did not come back? But are they even going to investigate? Do they even want to know? One of the children's mother is a judge. They're going to use the same court system to oppress the parents of Nolan Wells, to suppress the evidence. No one's going to be arrested. No one's going to be, I'll be shocked. And if they are, they're not going to do any time. They're going to beat the case or something because your life doesn't matter. So the man just lost his life for nothing, for thinking that these individuals were his friend and then get into an argument with them, and then you don't make it back. Talking about he went for a swim. Wake up, people. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe and power to the people.